I think I figured it out. I think I have figured out Donald Trump's tariff strategy, or not just tariff strategy, revenue strategy. And I'm sat down yesterday going over the past several months, what was done, what worked, what didn't work. And I do believe that I think at some point in time, somebody spoke to Donald Trump and gave him that kind of come to Jesus talk. And it came to our national debt. And again, we've been beating this drum for a very long period of time, where we over $37 trillion at this point in time. And I think, I really do. I believe that Donald Trump gave it the college try when it came to cutting spending. Brought in Elon Musk, and we're going to Doge this. We're going to do what like Javier Milei is doing in Argentina, and it's working unbelievable down there. And I think he grew frustrated with the fact that he knew it wasn't going to happen. That he just Doge not going to work. People in Congress, they have no desire whatsoever to really cut anything. And prime example of that was, we could barely get $9 billion in cuts through, and they pat themselves on the back with something like that. I think Elon Musk grew frustrated by the entire thing and the unwillingness to push politicians to do the right thing. We're $37 trillion in debt. No, without a doubt, we're going to have to hold the line. I believe, and again, what really kind of hit me yesterday was we reported on this ridiculous Commerce Department idea where they're going to start charging a fee for patents and the type of money it could raise. And like I said, this is like something that would come from Elizabeth Warren or Barack Obama. This is a real far leftist idea. I really do believe that he's just like, listen, I'm going to try to pay down the national debt. Try to pay down national debt. We really can't cut government spending because we don't have the people in Congress that are willing to do that. So I've got no choice. And they've been on this effort to try to convince the American people, and they've convinced plenty. I mean, I could lay out to a super Trumpster, super MAGA person out there. I could lay out and explain tariffs and how it's a tax on all of us. And they don't want to believe it. They don't want to believe it. I think he's convinced enough people here in this country that that's a wonderful thing. Again, so whenever Lutnick goes out and talks about tariff revenue, you get all the people chiming in. Oh my God, this is what I voted for. This is awesome. I'm like, you're paying more for your stuff. You do know that, right? I don't know what other type of means they're going to use to go out and raise revenue, bring money in. I have no idea. We've essentially been hit with a VAT tax, if you want to call it that, value-added tax, kind of like Europe here in this country. It's going to be embedded, and we're all going to pay. The hope is right now, again, I just throw my hands up in the air, people. It is what it is. Our hope is that this money is actually used to pay down our debt, to put us on a better fiscal path. I again spoke a lot about this over the years, talk about raising taxes. And I said, I never quite understood. I said, if I was running the country, I was a politician and wanted to raise taxes, I'd have to obviously bring something to the table as far as negotiation is concerned for the people that are going to be paying those taxes. And we say, hey, listen, what we're going to do here is we're going to pass a balanced budget. We're going to put a balanced budget amendment through. All of the additional revenues that we are going to bring in are going to be earmarked in law, in writing, to pay down debt. And I think you could get people on board for something like that. But when you pull more revenue in, and it's used to buy missiles to shoot at people in some far off land somewhere, and we don't really know why. It frustrates people, or it's pulled in for some stupid government nonsensical project or given to some corporation or some subsidy, whatever it may be. And these people in Washington, D.C. can't help themselves. So we shall see. We shall see. This has to be the strategy. It has to be the strategy. It really does. I can't figure anything else out. And like I said yesterday, reading about what they want to do and charging what they want to charge for patents here in the United States. And again, I think that's an awful, awful idea. I think that they're trying to raise as much money as they possibly can. I think something spooked them. Watchdog on wallstreet.com.